tomorrow morning at 12:02 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, when the entirety of the contiguous United States enters November 8th, the day of the midterms, there will be a total lunar eclipse, creating what's called a blood moon lunar eclipse. It's also the day of the full moon. Ominous, to put it quite literally. The red moon, many say, signifies the coming red wave when Republicans will sweep the midterms, taking over a massive portion of Congress and sparking change. I have no idea what's going to happen. I think Republicans that are expecting this to be some kind of, that genuinely believe there's going to be a massive red wave will be terribly surprised when Democrats do better than they realize. There's some speculation that there are secret Dobbs voters, many Democrats who haven't been polled, who likely will come out and vote because of abortion. And so it may not be as good as Republicans think. I would caution everybody right now, you best go vote. You better be prepared because we have no idea what's going to happen. Now, with this blood moon, there will not be another total lunar eclipse until 2025, perhaps signaling a period of something dark. I don't know. But the actual big news, the verifiable big news, is that CEO of Twitter, Elon Musk, has just endorsed the Republican Party, arguing that independent voters should pick GOP congressional candidates, arguing for shared power. He says the Democrats, they have the executive branch. Splitting power is actually smart. And he's right. But of course, the outrage, it is palpable. Many leftists are freaking out. Elon Musk is banning comedy, they claim, falsely. Elon Musk is banning left-wing accounts, they claim. Well, technically that's true, but they're breaking the rules. And now they say, there it is, the CEO of Twitter outright endorsing one political faction, overlooking the fact that the previous owners of Twitter did literally that, supporting the Democrats. The forecast models are in, my friend. My friends, plural. And according to the Washington Post, it is apocalyptic for Democrats. 54 Senate seats Republican. And potentially, I don't know where the Washington Post is, but some are suggesting 255 seats in the House. Now, Real Clear Politics has tempered their expectations quite a bit, going down to 53 seats. They now say New Hampshire will go Democrat, which should be interesting. But in the generic ballot, 538 and Real Clear Politics show the Republicans are up. And when they're up, I mean, it is just very, very bad for Democrats. Democrats need a 5-point polling lead to hold. They'll still lose at that point. They need like 7 points advantage. And then they, make some gains. So it's looking like they're going to lose, and they're going to lose badly. 538's new forecast model shows 55 scenarios out of 100 where Republicans win 51 or more Senate seats. And then I believe the number is now at 83 out of 100 scenarios where the Republicans take the majority in the House. Naturally, many on the left are in panic mode, suggesting that the end is nigh. Democracy is on the ballot. One guy went on MSNBC and actually said that the Republicans are going to arrest and murder your children if they get arrested, if they get elected. That's crazy. But this is where we are. And over at The Guardian, they just published an article saying civil war is coming and the Republicans are going to start arresting Democrats and attacking black churches and synagogues. These people are insane and they don't get it. This is why we are voting out Democrats, because y'all are nuts. But here it is. Change is coming, my friends. And I don't know if the blood moon really does mean anything, but that's it. That's just really, really crazy, isn't it? Come on. Now, look, I get it. I mean, maybe, they set election day. They know when they could make it. But there are rules put in place as to when the election day would be. And it just so happens it's coinciding with a blood moon, full moon, total lunar eclipse. What? This is crazy. All right. Let's read the news. Before we get started, my friends, check out our newest song. We need your support on this one. This week is the most important week. With the release of our new song, Genocide, Losing My Mind, on over the Timcast music channel. We've gotten about 500,000 views in a couple days. You can go to losingmymind.com, buy the song on iTunes or Bandcamp or wherever you want to buy it. listen to the song on YouTube, put it on your playlists on Spotify, and just blast that music nonstop. Listen to it if you really do like it. This week matters because it's the tracking week for Billboard, where they'll see if the song actually does make it. And with your support, listening to the song, sharing the song, and buying it, we could actually pull that off. Now, the song is a direct rebuke of the establishment and the media lies, calling them out for the death and destruction that they've caused. And it is an overt political message. That's why I'm really eager to get this one shared and promoted and could really use your support. So please consider buying it. We were number one for 2 days on iTunes, beating out Taylor Swift. Now we've dropped down quite a bit, but we're number one on Amazon still. And we're getting tremendous sales on Bandcamp. So I really do appreciate all of your support. Losingmymind.com. Pick up the song on iTunes. Let's read the news. Twitter chief Musk urges independent voters pick GOP congressional candidates arguing for shared power, reports Just the News. They say, quote, to independent-minded voters, shared power curbs the worst excesses of both parties. Therefore, I recommend voting for a Republican Congress, given that the presidency is Democratic. Hardcore Democrats or Republicans never vote for the other side. So independent voters are the ones who actually decide who's in charge, Musk added in a follow-up tweet. Musk announced in May that he planned on voting for Republicans in the future because Democrats have become the party of division and hate. That one's really interesting, and can't say that he's wrong. Of course, we have some responses here. We have Ian Miles Chong saying, after so many years of Biden nonsense, it'll be good to have a Congress that can keep him in check and maybe repair the damage he did to the economy. I disagree, Ian. If the Republicans win, they'll have subpoena power in the House. They'll be able to they'll be able to pass some bills, but it'll go to the executive branch and they'll be vetoed. So they will be able to control budgeting. They'll be able to ram things through in that regard, which will give them tremendous power, but they will have investigatory abilities. And if the Republicans win, it means that Rand Paul will have the ability to launch formal inquiries into Dr. Fauci. I'd love to see that one. All right. Well, let's see where we go. Actually, let me show you this tweet. Kanishka Raj Singh says, hi, Elon Musk. In this tweet in April, you said Twitter should be politically neutral. How would you, as the head of Twitter, justify recommending which party people should vote for after you advocated for political neutrality on the platform? You misunderstand, good sir. From the New York Post. Twitter board members gave tens of thousands to Democratic candidates, April 26, 2022. It's fascinating. How many of you have seen the original? I'm sorry. How many of you have seen the prequel Star Wars trilogy? How many of you have seen that? Well, in the prequel trilogy, they said that Anakin Skywalker would bring balance to the Force. What does that mean? Well, they assumed it meant that he would bring balance by destroying the Sith. Turns out he became them. He became the Sith Lord and then eliminated almost all of the Jedi, bringing balance to the Force. You see how that works? Yoda said that misinterpreted the prophecy they may have, or I don't know, whatever. He said something like that. When Elon Musk said we're going to be neutral, well, in order to restore neutrality, you would need a period of Republican donation from the top execs at the New York Post, right? Yes, I am comparing Elon Musk to Darth Vader. Get over it. I'm making a point. He's not being neutral as an individual. Twitter itself probably will be neutral. So to his point, as he was literally saying the platform should be neutral, it probably will be. But as for Elon Musk, he's doing what the previous leaders did. So even that is still technically neutral, because if the platform only ever supported Democrats and then stopped supporting anybody, it's still left favored. So there you go. There's the balance to the Force. Somewhat unsurprisingly, and I don't know if this is surprising or not, Chris Pratt is backing Rick Caruso for LA mayor against Democrat Karen Bass. The actor believes that the former Republican can reverse the city's gradual decline into pain and utter disarray, saying, I've lived in LA for over 20 years. It's been great to me. In that time, I've seen what many residents here have seen, the city's gradual decline into pain and utter disarray. If you live here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't normally support political candidates, but in this election, there's too much to lose. If you're an LA voter, I urge you to vote for Rick Carusola. Did I say Caruso? Carusola. Is that what they said? He's a builder. He knows how to get it done. He's the guy for our city, Rick Caruso. Okay, wait, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Caruso. It's Rick Caruso, L.A. There you go. It is Rick Caruso. At Rick Caruso. I was like, what? I don't know who that guy is. You can tell right there. But the important thing is that we know Chris Pratt's fairly conservative. So here you go. The tides, they are a-changin'. Now for the moment y'all been waiting for. Is the blood moon omen true and correct? Well, we're not going to actually know that until like a week after the election. The Washington Post, 2022 midterms forecast, 54 Republican seats in the Senate, 246 seats to the Republicans in the House. Yo, this is crazy. Don't count your chickens before they hatch, my friends. I do not know where this is going, but they think New Hampshire is going red. Well, over at Real Clear Politics with a Senate projection, they have changed their mind. They say New Hampshire's going blue. 53 Republican seats to 47. It's huge. It's hard to know exactly. You can look at all the polls in the world, but I'll tell you, my friends, the polls have been historically wrong. In 2016, wrong. 2018, wrong. 2020, wrong. They have all underestimated Republican support. I gotta say, if people like Elon Musk, people like me, people like Joe Rogan are outright saying vote Republican, you know where this is probably going. Joe Rogan came out and said, vote Republican. Remember that? It's like, what did you tell people who were upset with the lockdowns? Like, vote Republican. I mean, most of them probably already will. Now, if we take a look at their governor projection, 31 states it's 5 pickups for the Republican Party statewide. This is huge. What I'm going to be interested to see is statewide legislatures and state senates. That's going to be big because you need those for a convention of states. But we'll see. We'll see. Heading over to our good friends over at 538, we can see the congressional generic ballot. Do voters want Republicans or Democrats? 1.1 lead for Republicans. And if this is skewed historically, as we've seen, between 7 and 13 points, then you know how bad it really is. Over at Real Clear Politics with a massive plethora of different polls. I got a ton. The aggregate shows Republicans are up 2.5 points. Apocalyptic? That's putting it mildly. When I pulled up the 538 forecast model earlier today, it said Republicans win 54 in 100 in the Senate and 82 in 100 in the House. I refreshed it before making this video and it went up. Let's refresh it again. It just went up again. You saw it there in real time, my friends. Right when I hit refresh, Republicans win 56 out of 100. They have just added a third scenario. There's a 1 in 33 chance that Republicans actually get 55 seats in the Senate, according to 538. Yo, that is crazy. Now, the bell curve is showing, it looks like 52 is the majority of outcomes, but there's a strong possibility of a 50-50 Senate. Over in the House, though, there's actually a scenario. Let's pull this up. There is 1 in 100 chance, according to 538, a 1% chance of Republicans winning 263 seats in the House. Whoa! Holy. That would be bonkers. I don't know, man. I don't know where we're going. I can't predict the future. But there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Because as much as people are looking really good when they look at the polls, they're like, man, it looks great for Republicans. Don't count out the machine just yet, because I'm sure the shadow campaign to save the election is currently underway. So we'll see. We have this post here from Jack Posobiec. The Fetterman campaign issues a memo warning of a long week, a process that will take several days. Okay, let's read about what the Democrats are saying. But first, let me actually show you the omen of the blood moon. I love this story. Look, I am not an atheist. I am not particularly theistic. I don't follow any organized religion. But I got to tell you, when you see stuff like this, you can't help but believe there is something else out there. It is not just chaos. Order exists. Because this is just crazy. Now, I know. Sometimes it rains. But this is winning the lottery. $1.9 billion to be exact. Have you bought your lottery tickets yet? That's a reference to the Powerball. It's the record $1.9 billion. Take a look at this. They say the moon will begin to enter the outer part of Earth's shadow at 3:02 a.m. Eastern. As the partial eclipse progresses, it will look like a bite is being taken out of it. The totality will last from 5:17 a.m. until 6:42 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. During this time, the moon will appear copper red in color. That is to say, they say weather permitting, Hawaii and Alaska will have to will have the chance to see every stage of the show as it follows. Unlike solar eclipses, a lunar eclipse can be viewed safely with the naked eye. Sky watchers can even use binoculars or telescopes. So I thought about this when I saw this story. 3:02 a.m. Eastern Time. I was like, well, that's not remarkable. Then I realized that's 12 midnight Pacific Time. The contiguous United States. Yeah, excluding the Pacific, the Pacific Islands, Hawaii, excluding Alaska, but the contiguous United States from the West Coast to the East Coast. As soon as the day begins, the moon will turn blood red. And it's going to be that way for several hours. At 3:02 Eastern Time, it will begin to turn red. By 5:17, it will be blood red, and it will last for an hour and a half. Wow. I will be sure to wake up at this moment and go and take a look at the omen of the blood moon on election day. When they're predicting a red wave, a red tsunami, or a great red flood, when there is a did I get the math wrong? It's not 33% chance. That's not correct. Or no, I'm sorry. I'm totally wrong. It's a 3% chance. Sorry. Wait, is it 3? Yeah. 3 scenarios out of 100. A 3% chance that Republicans win. Oh, yeah, no, wait, that is 1 in 33. So it's not 33%, it's 1 in 33. Okay, I'm wrong about that. A 1 in 33 chance that the Republicans actually win 55 seats. What does this moon signify? Are you a believer? Again, I'll stress, I'm not, I believe in God. And it's for things like that. Not completely, because I understand coincidences happen. People win the lottery. I don't think it's always ominous. But this one just gets me. Everyone's like, there's going to be a red wave. And they're like, oh, by the way, we planned the day of the election hundreds of years ago. But the moon just so happens to be entering a blood moon, a full blood moon lunar eclipse on that day. I just think it's crazy. I know. Sometimes it rains. Sometimes there are hurricanes. Not everything is an omen. But you see things like that, and it's hard to believe that every single thing happens is just luck. I don't look at it that way. Now, of course, something like that alone is not enough to make me believe in any kind of higher power or anything. I just smile and laugh. But when you see enough things, when you study enough, you start to question the nature of reality. Over at the tweet from Jack Posobiec about Fetterman, process could take several days before the results are in. And this is where things get frustrating and creepy. Over at Just the News, Wisconsin voters sue over mishandled mail-in ballots. Thomas Morsight, he said the goal of its request is to verify the ballots are authentic. Interesting. The group on Friday asked the Waukesha County Circuit Court to order state election officials to sequester all military absentee or mail-in ballots before the election. The law firm said the goal of its request is to verify the ballots are authentic. The group filed the case after Wisconsin GOP rep Janelle Brandtjen reportedly received 3 military absentee ballots at her home. Fabricated, nonetheless. None of the individuals to whom these ballots were addressed reside or have resided at her address. The situation is particularly egregious as it demonstrates how easily the military absentee mail-in vote can be manipulated due to the commission's lack of compliance with Wisconsin election law. This is big. The election has not started, hasn't concluded. It is currently happening. We don't know the results. There is standing here. People in Wisconsin have a right to know if there's bad ballots. And we now know there are. But how many? An individual ordered 3 fake ballots. Okay, let's hold on there a minute. How is that possible? They're not saying get rid of the votes, sequester them. This could be interesting. What happens if they get sequestered? They get analyzed by election officials and determined to be fake. Alarm bells, to put it simply. My friends, why are the Democrats going to lose? From Axios. Top Democrats warn party is seen as extreme. Because it is. There's a video of a Democrat woman saying a drag queen for every school. What is wrong with you, lady? Is this what you think Americans are concerned about? Third way. A center-left think tank backed by some of the biggest names in Democratic politics sounding the alarm. Quote, if Democrats manage to hold onto the House and Senate, it will be in spite of the party brand, not because of it. Despite a roster of GOP candidates who are extreme by any standard, voters see Democrats as just as extreme, as well as far less concerned about the issues that most worry them. Yeah. I'm sure there's a bunch of Republicans, moderate voter types who are just like, I don't like these MAGA guys, but they talking about cheap gas. Do you remember that viral video where the two dudes in Florida, they're like, DeSantis brought the gas. I'm a Democrat, but I'm voting Republican. That's what matters. Imagine going to like a black church and being like, now I don't know nothing about that cheap gas y'all are asking for, but I'll tell you what, as a Democrat, I will get a drag queen in your school. They're going to go, huh? Nobody asked for that. Except for some weirdos on Twitter, I guess. But here we go. Jennifer Jacobs, quoting Wall Street Journal Politics. Republicans are heavily favored by nonpartisan analysts to win control of the House in Tuesday's elections. Democrats had better odds of keeping the Senate, but Republican candidates were making late polling gains in New Hampshire, Arizona, and PA. Here we go. Josh Jamerson, Biden's top 2020 pollster, quote, I think that this could be a paradigm shift election where Republicans are not only making inroads with Latino vote, but they're now making inroads with the black vote. Now, this one I find truly incredible. Truly incredible because, well, the Democrats keep saying the Republicans are white supremacists, and, you know, that's why you got to vote against them. Here's what I want you to remember. That's why I pulled up this story. Audio of daughter welded into her home by Beijing officials pleading to be released after her mother jumped to her death when latest lockdown drove her to despair, sparks fury in China. As it should. They're calling now for amnesty. They're saying we should have COVID amnesty. No amnesty. Sorry. They locked you in your home. So did Donald Trump. Donald Trump advocated for lockdowns. Donald Trump didn't advocate for vax mandates. I'll give him that much. They advocated for mandates, lockdowns. In many countries, they created camps. In China, they welded people's doors shut. In the United States, they didn't go that far, but they still destroyed your life, destroyed your job, destroyed your business, and left you homeless. Many of you. Do not give them amnesty. Remember now, every day, as the economy gets worse and life gets harder, who it is who did all of this. It was the Democrat governors, and it was Joe Biden. It was many of the Democrats in Congress, and yeah, many Republicans. Not all of them, though. Vote in the MAGA Republicans who are going to say no to this. Now, as we are looking to the moon for signs of what may come, with messages from Elon Musk endorsing Republicans saying vote GOP, Politico is warning if the Democrats do lose, it could maybe be voter fraud. Excuse me? Yup, you heard that right. Politico tweeted, the 2020 presidential election was rife with allegations of voting machine hacks that were later debunked. Yet there are real risks that hackers could tunnel into voting equipment and other election infrastructure to try to undermine Tuesday's vote. No, this is election denialism. Nice try, Politico. 2020 was the safest and most secure election on record. That's what they said, right? So how are you going to come out now? From Politico. 6 election security threats to watch for on Election Day. Hacking threats and disinformation fears loom large as voters head to the polls. Okay, what are the 6 threats? Mis and disinformation. Oh, that's a meaningless phrase to me, I suppose. It just means ideas they don't like. False claims of hacked voter data, blah, blah. Crashing election office and campaign websites. Oh, okay, all right. So when people were talking about infrastructures being hit, machines being hacked and pipe bursts breaking in bathrooms, that's no big deal. But now it is. Because Democrats are expected to lose. Is that right? All right. I like Ian Miles Chong's response to this. You guys want to think about what you wrote here? No, they want to deny elections. They say a Russian DDoS campaign recently knocked several state government websites offline. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. How about that? Campaign social media account hijacking. Hackers could take over candidates' campaign accounts and make inflammatory comments. Oh, could they? Like when the Democrat said a drag queen. I'm sorry, that was a video of her doing it. So ain't no getting back from that one. Cyber attacks on voter registration databases. States have spent years upgrading the security of their voter registration databases, which form the bedrock of a well-functioning election system. Hackers with access to voter registration could sow chaos by tampering with voter data and by stealing voter data. Targeted voter harassment. This relatively novel threat. Wireless modems enabling hacks of voting machines or vote tallies. Are you kidding me? Is this a joke? Politico? Here we go. Republicans are going to win. The Democrats are going to justify their loss by saying it was rigged. It was Russia. Russia did it. Oh, those Russians. It's their own explanation. Here we go. At least 7 states and D.C. use wireless modems to transmit unofficial election night results to their offices. These modems use telecommunications networks that are vulnerable to hackers. Really? All right. Oh, well, if Politico says so. I think we're going to have to go back and take a look at all of those voting machines and modems from 2016, 2018, 2020. Quote, we now have to worry about anybody getting access to a communication network that is fundamentally open. Matt Blaze, a Georgetown University computer science and law professor who studies voting systems, told Politico last month. These attacks are much more difficult and time consuming. Yeah, but if you're talking about a state actor who wants to manipulate an election, why wouldn't they do it? They're coming out now and claiming Russia is interfering again because we know that if Republicans get in, they're going to end financing of the war with Ukraine. They're going to stop financing the war with Russia. I'll put it that way. Good. I'm done with it. It's not worth nuclear war. Ukraine is not a NATO ally. It's nothing to do with us. So why? I really look forward to Republicans. I hope they do. I really, really do. Elon Musk is right. I hope they win and say, you will no longer fund war in Ukraine. I hope they come in and say, we are going to restore jobs and infrastructure to this country. We're going to stop focusing on foreign wars. And then I hope, as we enter 2023, think about that, huh? We're a month away. That's crazy. No, 2 months. As we enter 2023. Primary season will begin. They're saying that Donald Trump's going to announce he's running for president on the 14th. We'll see. It'll be a very interesting day if he does. But the primary season is going to be insane. My friends, I don't know that the blood moon signals a red wave. It could be something worse. Blood moons are a sign of maybe war. People believe a lot of things about what these signs could mean. I'll throw it back to, here's the white pill. The blood moon is just a coincidence, but it is an interesting thing to happen on a day when the Republicans are going to win and we're going to see justice restored with subpoenas, investigations. There's another potential sign. Bulwark wrote this. Yeah, we don't like the Bulwark guys, but, they made an interesting point. As the midterm rolls around, we've already got poll watchers. We've got armed people with guns standing outside these boxes watching. You've got angry far leftists screaming that if Republicans win, democracy is over. The Bulwark wrote a potential for election day that there's going to be a swing district, a vital one. Someone's going to show up to watch the polls. They're going to assume they're seeing fraud. A fight will break out. Scuffle will escalate. Gunshot will ring out. And then someone will fall down. A poll worker collapsed, bleeding. They'll have to shut down the polling station. One polling station is all it takes for chaos, especially if the race is a swing state and it's close. So this is where things get scary. That scenario in my mind is very, very possible. We already saw a circumstance where a man was dropping off ballots legally for his family. You're allowed to do it in Arizona. And a group surrounded him, taking pictures, calling him a mule because he had more than one ballot. He was dropping it off for his family. So he says. I believe he's suing. It's remarkable when I talk to people and they're like, they're sending people out to collect ballots. And I was like, yeah, and that's legal in 39 states. Well, but you can't do that. I'm like, you can in 39 states. I hope people are aware of it. You don't like ballot harvesting? Make it illegal. 39 states allow it. In fact, I think it's something like, it could be wrong. I think it's 26 states allow it with restrictions and 13 have no rules at all. Meaning, in sub 13 states, you can go door to door collecting ballots. Legal. Yeah, that's where things get crazy. When people just see something and they say, I don't know, don't care. It looks wrong to me and we're going to stop. But this is the issue. There have been things going wrong. I mean, several years ago, we saw crazy stories of like ballots found in the garbage. Now we've got leftists suing because absentee ballots weren't delivered properly. We've got right-wing groups suing because some woman, she ordered fake ballots. Now, I'm not saying that there's cheating or anything like that. I don't know. I'm just saying people are on edge. I think politics is a dirty game. I think people are going to do whatever they can to win. So maybe that blood moon means something else. Maybe it means this is the start of a conflict. We're at the end of the fourth turning. It's supposed to resolve itself by 2026 or 2028. I'm sorry. 2028 is the end. The last lunar eclipse for 3 years. For about 3 years. And it's a full moon. It's a blood moon and a total lunar eclipse. That's crazy. What if this signifies dark days? I don't know. How about we be a little bit more optimistic than pessimistic and say it signals a cleansing, that there's going to be a shift. The Republicans are going to come in. They're going to wash away this corruption and this taint. And for the next 2 years will be a process that the omen is not for those of sound mind and good judgment, those of honesty. The omen is for the Democrats who lied, cheated, and stole their way to power. Maybe this sign is that they're going to face accountability and it'll be a cleansing. Don't know. Don't look at me. I'm just some guy on the internet. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up tonight at 8 p.m. over at youtube.com/TimcastIRL. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.